Of course, Jim, rockauto.com has a lot of hot deals and has a lot of hot news and hot events happening in and around the world of professional wrestling.
Fire! Hoo! Fire! I love that. You remember that album cover, too, with the hot girl with the...
That was the best thing about them.
Around her? The hose around the hoe?
The best thing about the Ohio players were those album covers.
Yes. And, well, you remember Honey, too. Wasn't that with Sweet Sticky Thing? She was pouring honey all over her mammary glands. But anyway, there's been hot news, huh?
Sizzling hot.
All right.
Scorching.
I know it's your show, but God damn it. I saw this right before I left town, and I decided to just wait. I didn't retweet it. I didn't comment on it because I decided to just wait until I could break this happenstance down piece by piece. Apparently, one of our old friends, we haven't talked about him a lot because nobody's seen him in months. Old Jelly Nutella is waddled back from obscurity. Apparently, sometime back, I forget, was it 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, however long it's been, we've been free of his presence on AEW television because apparently Tony Khan got buyer's remorse fairly quickly. He thought he was getting the indie-rific standout that he was apparently sold, and he was sold a bill of goods, and what he got was a parking lot attendance. So since Tony doesn't really have the balls to do anything about his talent mistakes, he just lets their contracts run out and doesn't book them, and sometimes doesn't call them or text them either. And apparently that's when Jelly's been floating around wherever Jelly goes, but he's back. And he wanted apparently to make some headlines. And he's on some clown show. I've seen the clip. Everybody tweeted it, and everybody's been emailing. He's on some garbage show somewhere in a brick holding cell in front of what looked like about 40-something people. And he's wrestling some clown. And folks, Brian, you're going to have to tell the people that this is not a bit, because they're going to think, oh, now why is he winding this guy up like that? This didn't happen. So please, after I describe it, confirm for the people that I have described this correctly. Jelly figures the big finish of this match is going to be a flaming super kick. So what he does is he sits down in the ring and pours lighter fluid or gasoline or some flammable or inflammable, whichever one that applies, substance to his own foot, his own boot, and proceeds to set himself on fucking fire. And super kicks this idiot who actually agreed to stand there and take that, and then realizes he's got no plan to put himself out. I'm not talking about a bad plan. I'm talking about no plan. His foot is continuing to burn and be on fire. And he sits down. Well, he doesn't sit down. It wasn't that fucking casual and lackadaisical. He drops down on his ass and he's patting the foot. And the foot is catching the mat on fire. And flames are now coming from the fucking mat. And the referee grabs a bottle of literally a 16-ounce plastic bottle of drinking water and is pouring it. And then people start throwing more bottles of water into the ring. And people start coming and uncorking them and trying to. And Jelly is screaming, "Ah, put it out!" I guess whatever you scream when you're on fucking fire. And nobody had a fire extinguisher. That's what I'm talking about. There was not a bad plan. There was no plan. He forgot that after he hit the super kick, his foot would still be on fucking fire. And he turned into Richard Pryor, only it was his foot instead of his fucking face. What was the finish of that match, Brian? Did anybody ever win? The clip cut off. Did I describe that correctly?
You did, and I'm not sure if that was the finish. I guess the other opponent won via fire forfeit? I'm not exactly sure.
One via third degree? What? Yeah, the winner via third degree burns. Tits McGee over here, ladies and gentlemen. Can we please get a rag and a dustpan so we can sop up what's left of jelly?
I miss the days when before you had endless tables and chairs under the ring, there was a fire extinguisher.
You know, yeah, actually, that's in a lot of places, we always carried one in Smoky Mountain. I think we had one in OVW. But yes, in a lot of places, you would have a fire extinguisher under or around the ring or accessible when people didn't set themselves on fucking fire and forget that they would have to find a way to put themselves out. That was just in case it accidentally happened. So I guess he achieved, because we've established before that Jelly is the kind of guy, he enjoys the attention of people laughing at him and calling him a clueless putz and a fat dumpy piece of shit and a fucking, brown and serve roll covered in pubic hair and all the other things. He wants to be noted for doing stupid things because then people are noting him. I'm sure his family is proud. But so he wormed his way back into the news by setting himself on fucking fire in front of 42 people for no money in a goddamn cinder block building. We just wanted to keep everybody up on where the old AEW favorites are. Where are they now?
Clearly this is another one of those booking mistakes from Tony Khan. He should have found a way to retain this guy.
Well, if he would have set him on fire, that would have been the first match of Jellies that I would have liked on his television.
Maybe they could have used him in the build-up to Cody's match and had Brandy set him on fire. And then had Brandy set the table and Cody on fire during the match to build to it.
But this, Cody set himself on fire by accident.
Oh, okay, fine then. What if Jericho, instead of lighting the air above Eddie Kingston's head on fire, lit Jelly Nutella's foot on fire? Would have been a great way to build to.
But see, that was a proper fireball. If he'd had good aim, it would have been safe and effective and good for you and looked good and all that stuff. He just, but this was real fire with real flammable liquid that not only, I don't know whether he'll be wearing that boot again or not, old Jelly. And it's a special problem for him since both of his feet are like fucking different sizes. But it also set the mat on fire. So the mat, the guy's lost that mat. And unless he just wants to put it out there with burn marks on it, maybe he could charge the marks $2 a piece to take pictures of it. With, here's where Jelly set himself on fire. I'm standing on it.
Oh, come on. You could take advantage of this. He could be the clubfoot Nutella.
Hey, that would be if Dustin, when he was Gold Dust, was seriously thinking about getting breast implants to shock everybody, then I'm sure for his art, for his career, because he loves pro wrestling so much, Jelly will be willing to get his foot amputated. And then he could come and if he had done this 35 years ago, he could have been the one-legged wrestler that could play Long John Silver that Jim Herd was looking for at TBS.
Yeah, Foot Von Erich.
Oh, God, yeah. And here's Kerry's second cousin, Stumpy Von Erich.
You thought Chris looked like shit. Here's the other cousin.
Boy.
Waldo's other son.
Waldo's son he had with a motel maid in Buffalo in